Are we rolling? I'm going to start with a little story. It's when me and my brother, we were little boys. We used to go around to granddaddy's and make dens and stuff. One day we made a bow and arrow. We were firing arrows into the tree, shooting these squirrels. We never hit no squirrels. We never had the skill set back then. There's one man, Mr. Roberts. We used to call him Mr. Robot. He used to have a Sky remote for a voice box. He'd wedge it right up in there and go, stop shooting the squirrels. And we were like, holy shit, no way. We used to run back to granddaddy's. Granddaddy come out, give that man one fuck of a hiding. It still haunts my dreams today, that Sky remote hitting the curb, falling to the highway. Anyway, we never went out after that. We stayed in. We didn't want Granddaddy to get in trouble with the law, so we just stayed in. It was simpler that way. But hey, that's enough about me. Let's talk about you, Daniel P. Lewis. This is Veteran's Opinion. Yeehaw! How's that?
I really did not know that you could do a Scottish accent. What's that up? What's that up?
Oh, true story.
Yeah. Is it your true story?
Yeah, when I was a kid.
Is it?
Yeah. We had this fellow lived upstairs, and he had the little thing in his face. He used to shout at us all the time for shooting animals with bow and arrow.
Yeah.
My granddad used to batter him.
Oh.
That's a true story.
No animals were harmed in the making of this episode.
But I put a spin on it because of Billy Smith.
Nice one.
Been practicing that all week.
You got the part.
I did it all,
You're
yeah.
good, kid. You're good.
Yeah, man.
So, yeah, thanks for joining us for another episode. Oh, shit. I'm in the spotlight today. I don't like this.
All the lamps on you. Mate, it's changed. It's weird because last time me and you were on the mic together, we were doing episode 5, Dockhouse podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Subscribe. Like, now tables are turned. And like I said to another guest, John Smith, since I did the Lad Bible episode, you got me on here, and it was you and a few other podcasts and stuff that's boosted my confidence to go forward. So as a return, and I say thank you, brought you on and talk about what you're doing and talk about yourself and stuff like that. So for people that don't know who you are for some reason, tell us a little bit about yourself. A little bit about yourself.
I'm just a bit of a tit. That
it's an horrible question, that, isn't it? People turn around to me and go, tell me a bit about yourself. I go, I'm Steve.
Yeah, where to start?
And then that's it. Don't know what to do.
Born in 1990, May 13th. I'm a Taurus. I like blondes.
Blondes? Is your Mrs. Brunette?
No, that's my wife.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so I'm an actor, writer. Well, trying to be a producer, trying to be.
Mate, all the stuff I've seen,
Yeah.
you're not trying. You're smashing it, mate.
Yeah, slowly but surely.
Triple threat. Singing next. Yeah, man.
In the shower.
Yeah.
So we just obviously, your little sketch there. I'm a big fan of that.
Well, I was meant to pick up a checkered shirt and a banjo. No shit.
That was a nice tape you got there.
See, German again. No, I was meant to pick up his banjo and his checkered shirt, and I was going to sit here proper, black me tooth out and all that, but the time just left me. And
Billy Smith too.
Billy Smith too. I just want to roll. I just want to act. I want to be with you and Christian. You know what I mean? But anyway.
So we've just finished. Well, actually, no, we haven't. We've still got a couple of more Daves of Daves. We've still got Daves of shooting.
Daves of shooting.
2 days more on Billy Smith to do, and then we're all wrapped up. And I can't wait. That was a last minute thing. It was just because we meant to do a feature film last year. This year. Well, we've been trying to do it for like 3 years. So we've been trying to do it this year. Hopefully next year, 2021, we can do it.
Yeah.
COVID has just completely smashed us.
They're not going to happen, are they?
But, I can't complain because there's been people that are worse off and people are out to work and blah, blah, blah. So,
yeah, that's it.
But because I just wasn't being creative, and that's, being creative is my therapy.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm just going to do a little short film when we can. We've done it, all under the COVID rules and regulations, and we've done it when we were in, I think, tier 2.
Yeah.
We had to do like a big, we had to do a test online. It was like a 40-minute test.
Oh, really?
Yeah, to get a COVID certificate. We all had to do a bloody COVID test before we
Wow, yeah,
started
mad that.
shooting and stuff. So we took it serious, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was just so good to get creative, get in front of that camera.
That's it. It's like some people have therapy is like, with me, it's like gym, fitness. You know what I mean? And as you can probably tell from my physique, I do it all the time. But yeah, everyone has their own therapy.
Do you use the favourite machine in the gym, the vending machine?
Vending machine, me phone, keep the seats warm. But nah, everyone has their own therapy. But obviously, if you're so creative, you do. It's mad because you do like numerous things at once. Like you'll go quiet for so long, and the next minute this will come out, that'll come out, and like, wow, that's why you're quiet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But obviously, with not having anything therapeutic and things that help you and your mental health, obviously, like most of us, a lot of people are struggling with mental health at the moment, and then you know, people are going down, you know, in really bad places because we can't socialise, we can't do this, we can't do that. How's that had a knock on your
Do you know
health?
what? Right, it sounds really weird. So my missus, when this first happened in March, the lockdown and what was going to happen, and we were getting the first taste of it, Hayley was really worried about me, and she said, I'm just worried about how it's going to affect you because I don't want you to take a big step back. And I was like, nah, welcome to my world. I've been in lockdown for years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've been in isolation for years, so you might get a sense of. It sounds like I'm nervous. I'm just dead cold.
But you messaged me the other day saying, yeah, we've got heat in the studio. I was like, yes, get in. I can do it in a t-shirt. You know what I mean? And then they come in. And we're all sat there like that.
But then we found out that the heaters pick up on the thing. You just hear.
Answer that phone.
Anyway, yeah, I'm getting sidetracked.
Yeah, so it's like, obviously with lockdown and stuff, with mental health, it does feel like a lockdown, especially when you're in like that isolation frame of mind. Like I do that, say it's like being agoraphobic. You sort of like shadow yourself away a lot. And with me, I have to have positivity around me and a good home base, and that brings it out of me. And obviously with micro goals and stuff like that, are you sort of similar? Would you say that you're the same?
Yeah,
like?
definitely. Like I say, you know, the first thing I said was sort of, you know, this is a great awareness sort of exercise, I think. You know,
for the general public sort of thing.
Yeah. And for professionals and who it may concern.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And certainly now, when it first happened, I was like, welcome to my world. I've been in isolation for years.
Not in a horrible way, but like this is what we're going through, like, sort
you
of
know, thing. And the thing is, because of the sort of the person that I've become now.
Yeah.
I stay at home all the time anyway. I don't drink anymore. You know, don't party. You know, my circle's very small, so I don't really socialise too much. But I've seen the effects that it's had on people, and obviously you're starting to hear the stories.
Yeah.
You see it on social media. I was telling you a story about a friend that put up a picture this morning. You know, it was a bit of a cry out for help.
Yeah.
And it's just it's horrible to see. You know, my missus is going through it at the minute. You know,
really?
It's not like, you know, she's just feeling a bit crap at the minute because of what's going on.
I think that's a round robin thing. I think that's a like quite a big thing because my missus is the same. It's like, because you can't socialise. Like sometimes you go out like once a month, not just to drink, but go out for to a restaurant to have a meal. And it's just a bit of a break from the norm. And I think because we haven't got a break from the norm, that's it now. That this is who we are. And I think a lot of people are thinking, well, this is it now. That's it. You know what I mean?
I think how you got to look at it is, it's not just you. We're all going through it at the same time. Yep. We're all in the same boat. You know, I know it's hindered a lot of people's plans and things like this, but there's nothing we can do. There's absolutely nothing we can do.
Just stick together and push each other and help each other. So going back, obviously you said before your missus was worried about you taking a step back. Back where?
To the depths of hell.
German again?
No, so, I mean, I truly believe, you know, and a lot of close people around me, I'm a completely different person to what I was even, 3 years ago.
Well, I met you was beginning of last year. Yeah, year before.
Yeah.
When the fuck did I meet you?
Yeah. Last year.
You just started Dockhouse. and that's when you brought me
So
on.
I
And
think we sort of linked up on social, didn't we?
yeah, 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 yeah.
In
It was
2019.
just before Darren Till fought.
Was it?
I'm sure it was because you put a post up. You and him stood together,
Yeah.
and I reposted it.
That's it. Yeah.
Across right flank and me personal as well. And then you messaged saying thanks for that, and then we got talking.
Yeah.
And then that was it. Then before you knew it, I was on the show with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was what? Yeah, I think that was a good 2 years. Was that 2 years ago, something like that?
2019. And then we got you on in February. This year.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've only known that since then. You mean so? I don't know what happened. I don't know you from before then. Like,
well, 2017. I was in a position where I was locked in a hospital after trying to take my own life. I was really bad on the drugs. I was having 3 or 4 bags of cocaine every day. You know, I was in trouble with the law, fighting, not wanting to be here, full of anger, rage, loneliness, you know, just 2017 was possibly my worst year. And the worst, yeah. You know, it was many years of trauma.
all built up.
And it really just took over me then.
Yeah. The whole pop bottle effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally. And then, you know, I just wanted it all to end.
Yeah.
Mental health it's in your head. You can't see it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a brain injury.
I was in that much pain in my head that it become physical. Like, it was hurting me.
Yeah.
It was making me feel sick. I was pulling at my hair because it was eating me up that much.
Yeah.
It was as if I was possessed. And yeah, it was August 2017. I just tried to take my own life, and yeah, and that's where it was. It got to that point, but like I say, this all stemmed from childhood.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's. So I can remember back from like the age of 7.
Right.
So, you know, my mum, she's boss. She wasn't a bad mum. She was very protective over me because I almost lost my life when I was 2. I got meningitis. I was told I had like a couple of hours to live. I had to learn to walk again and everything.
So I didn't even know that.
So because of that, my mum was overprotective.
Yeah.
Everything.
Naturally, yeah.
And even now, 30 years old, you know, I'm going out or, you know, my mum has always been like that.
Yeah.
So that always had an effect on me because I wanted to rebel a bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because everyone else had a bit of freedom and she was relaxed around everyone else. So I'm an only child, but I say I've got brothers and sisters because we had close cousins that always lived with us and, you know, my mum pretty much, you know, brought up. So I always say I've got 3 brothers and 2 sisters.
Yeah.
But I am an only child, you know, technically.
Yeah.
So my mum was always more relaxed around, you know, the cousins and stuff like that. But with me,
you, yeah.
And it's because she, you know, she lost a few children and, you know, and then she nearly lost me. And so it was always like that. But then her and my dad never sort of, they were always screaming and shouting and stuff like that. They split up when I was 7, and I took that like really bad.
Yeah.
So my mum used to work nights, and my dad used to work the doors and stuff like that. And you know, used to travel. He was a boxer, my dad.
Yeah.
So they got me a babysitter, and from the age of 7, massive Liverpool supporter.
Yeah.
I wanted to be Michael Owen. Wanted to play for Liverpool one day.
Yeah.
That was my biggest dream. Now, my babysitter said that I was gonna meet Michael Owen. She was gonna take me to meet Michael Owen.
Yeah.
I was gonna one day play for Liverpool. I even received a fake letter from Roy Evans saying like, "Oh, I've been watching you play footy in the front garden.
Really?
You know, you need to do as you're told and stuff like this. And then my babysitter, well, I was a victim of sexual abuse, and that was from the age of 7 till about the age of 13, by physically by 2 females.
Fucking hell, mate. I didn't even know.
Yeah,
that.
so
Sorry to hear that.
that's where it sort of started.
Yeah, it's naturally gonna have a massive impact.
And I've already sort of, things weren't great because I didn't have, I had a dad, I had a father.
Yeah.
He was there every Sunday. He was a Sunday dad.
Yeah.
But I didn't have a father figure. You know what I mean? I felt I never had someone to sort of teach me and someone to look up to.
Yeah.
And then I've obviously got this going on, and it was just an accumulation of traumas throughout my childhood, things like that.
Yeah.
Bullying. I was bullied for a few years, but it was never by males. It was always females. I always felt weakened around females for some reason, obviously because of
It's had a knock-on effect on
what had happened to me. And I don't know, maybe I shown a lot of vulnerability, and I allowed myself to be a victim of bullying to females growing up, which then made me act out and rebel towards males then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I remember the age of like 9, we moved from the house that we grew up in.
Yeah.
To start afresh, you know what I mean? And I thought, it's just me and my mum, this is good. We're safe.
Yeah.
But we moved next door to some really nasty, horrible people.
Right.
And it was this fella, he used to always kick off on me mum and offer her fights, me mum, and I always seen that, and I was always afraid. So it was, like I say, I was always seeing these horrible things very early.
Yeah.
And then by the time I got to about 13, I developed quite early. I was I was a lot bigger than, kids my age, so I was going to the gym. I was kicked out of school when I was 13.
Yeah. So you found the gym as your sort of like safety place.
I started to act out then. I was, I always had a lot of anger in me and stuff like that.
Naturally.
And I got expelled from school for fighting. So I just hit the gym, and that's all I ever done. But then at the age of 15, I'm looking even older than all the other sort of 15-year-olds. I was going out to nightclubs. I was in the pleasure rooms. And
really?
15, yeah. And I was big. I was weighing like 15 and a half stone.
Did you have that same beard back then?
Yeah, it was bigger.
Yeah.
So it was just an accumulation of all these things, and then, I was my nin, she was like my second mum. It's funny because, do you watch the Adam Rowe podcast?
Yeah.
So he talked about this recently. He said if the government said to Liverpool, stay home, stay safe and all this, they wouldn't listen to it. But if they said it'll kill your nan, all of Liverpool would stay in because everyone loves the nan.
Yeah.
And he said, and it's weird because everyone in Liverpool seems to be 2 streets away from their nan.
Yeah.
And it's so true because we literally round the corner from me. We called her Nin, and she was my second mum. I used to bunk school, and all the kids my age would bunk school to go to street corners to smoke or drink or hang around with girls. I'd go to sit with me nan and have a cup of tea.
Yeah.
Watch a black and white film. Like that, for me, was my safe haven, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she passed away on the 23rd of December, right on top of Christmas. And cancer. And that for me was just...
like losing her parents.
That was it.
Yeah.
Like that was probably my tipping point, because my safety blanket is gone.
Yeah.
The person that I feel most comfortable around everything's safe, everything's cool because you're here. That had gone.
Yeah.
And it was at that age that I started taking cocaine. You know, I was drinking most weekends.
Were you introduced to it, or did you look for it, or?
No, I was introduced to it because the thing is, because I looked older and, you know, I acted older, I was a lot bigger. I always had older mates.
Older lads, yeah.
You know what I mean? So when I'm, you know, 16, I'm hanging around with 18-year-olds.
Yeah.
You know, or say me older brother, who he's 6 years older than me. So, you know, I'd go out with him, and all of his mates are obviously 6 years older.
Yeah.
So that's why I was kind of introduced to it, you know, early.
Yeah.
And then that's it then, and obviously, you know, the effects of cocaine, it makes you feel like Superman. So I'm going out to nightclubs at the age of 16.
Yeah.
Thinking I'm 10 men.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then next minute I'm getting outpowered by Big Dorman because at the end of the day I'm just a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
But that spurred me on more and give me more anger. And then, you know, it's soon enough you start getting in trouble with the law and things like this. So, you know, it was all these things
added up.
You know, a couple of suicide attempts and things like this. I get to 2017 and I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm out. You know what I mean?
Been fighting for a long time. Like, do you think it stemmed from your childhood? Do you think that was
100%?
That's kick-started the whole thing.
100%. And how I realised was, I have to give 100% credit to someone that I met. To where I am now.
Yeah.
So a guy called Walter, and I'd love to introduce you to Walter. He's a fascinating man.
Yeah.
He really is. I'm not sure what you believe in. I'm not sure what you take from this. Whether go, that sounds stupid, or it's cheesy, it's cliche. He's a prophet. He's sent here to do good things. You know, he's just an extraordinary man. So I'd not long got out of hospital. I'm placed under home sectioning.
Is this in 2017?
Yeah. I'm getting visited every day. You sure you're okay? Yeah. Stay with coming twice a day.
Sort of like suicide watch.
Yeah. I had to sort of move back in with my mum, and you know, she was, you know, just looking over me basically. And then my mate phoned me up and went, there's a little job there on the pier head, security. And obviously I'd been out of work for a few months because I've been on the doors. I'd done security since the age of 18.
Yeah.
I was on the doors and stuff, and I was like, I'm not ready, mate. I'm still not ready. It's still fresh. And he was like, no, honestly, mate, you need it. It'll be good for you.
Yeah.
I thought, do you know what? I'll try it out. There's no harm in trying it out. Excuse me. And it goes down there, and it was a boss little job. It really was. And
cushy number, like.
I don't know. I think summer was lovely that year.
Yeah.
It just seemed we had some really nice summer evenings, and it was like, it was a friend of mine, Martin O'Shea. He was running it, and there was like an acoustic band on every night, or an artist. And
Yeah.
had these like little tents and stuff
Down the pier.
Yeah, and outside the live building. And it was just chill. Do you know what I mean? They had like a bit of a fairground on, but, you know, with like the lights and stuff, and it was like, wow, I needed this. You know what I mean?
So like a bit of an uplift sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, a little reminder of how.
I think that went on for about, what, say 6 to 8 weeks. So I'm riding it out, and I'm looking forward to going to work, and I'm enjoying it. I'm starting to talk to people, make some friends.
Good.
And then I bumped into an old mate of mine, Tony Moran. So it was boss to see him. And it was a quick little catch up, you know. And he was with someone, and he said, you know, this is my friend Walter, blah blah blah. Anyway, next day, I'm just doing what I'm doing, just chilling in work. And Walter comes up to me and said, you know, Daniel, I met you yesterday, friend of Tony's.
This is Walter,
yeah. And I went, oh yeah, I remember. And he said, I've seen you a few times because I walk down here most days, and I've seen you a few times. There's something intriguing about you. And I went, okay. He said, do you mind if I sit down? I went, yeah, of course. And he said, you seem like you got a story to tell behind your eyes. And he said, a lot of us wear masks. You wearing a mask? Now, I don't know this man. And he's asking me some,
Deep
what I
questions, like,
think is personal. That's like things like that I get uncomfortable with. And,
Yeah.
I think, what's your...
put the shield up.
You know what I mean? What's your game here? Do you know what I mean? But I felt comfortable. And I went, yeah, maybe. And he said, obviously, the normal questions and blah, blah, blah. But one of the first things he said to me, he asked me was, do you have children? And I went, no. He went, you do? I was like, there's something I don't know yet. Do I owe money somewhere?
Are you the granddad?
And he said, you've got many children inside you, many little Daniels. Now, when I've repeated this story to people, not everyone's got onto that and thought, what do you mean by that?
Personalities. Or...
But just that, him saying that, it resonated with me and kind of made sense. And he said, what's your youngest child? And that, for me, was powerful. I was like, he's 7.
Yeah, I was going to say 7. Like,
he's 7 years old. And that's when it hit me. And he was like, how many children have you got? And I was like, I've got a 7-year-old, got a 9-year-old, got a 13-year-old, got 15, 18. And I started to understand their personalities and their traits. So the 7-year-old, he was very scared.
Yeah.
And timid. The 9-year-old, again, he was very scared, but he was trying to put on a brave face.
Yeah.
The 15-year-old was very angry. The 18-year-old was, you couldn't control him.
Yeah.
So how he explained it to me was, me today, my authentic self, I know, none of us is perfect, but I know what we want to be and what we should be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know we shouldn't let our thoughts take over us. I know I shouldn't think like that. I shouldn't feel like this. And I know I should act like this and I should do that and I should do good. That's my authentic self, who I am and who I want to be. But if ever I sort of, red mist or whatever, or if I have a panic attack and I start to feel scared, or if I start to cry or start to feel angry, any of these feelings, they're not me. They're not my authentic self. They are one of my children.
Yeah.
So what I needed to do as a parent was to take them by the hand and say, you're safe.
Yeah.
You're okay.
It's good to say that. It's good that you said you're the parent.
Yeah.
That's like a good sign that you've got a grip of it.
Exactly.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm the parent. I'm the adult sort of thing. That's a good way of looking at it. To be
And
fair.
that's the technique that we used. That's the technique that worked for me. There's 101 others, techniques and exercises to do.
That works for you.
That for me, and it just made sense.
That's actually absolutely opened my eyes quite a bit. You saying that, because looking back, I'm since you started saying that story, I've been looking back at all my ages with been, and I've gone, okay,
yeah.
But, thank you for that.
Yeah, man,
that's good.
It's Walter, and like I say, because he's lived it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's wore the t-shirt.
Yeah.
And he just seems to have the answer for everything.
Yeah.
And the thing is, he's not a therapist or a doctor or anything like that. He's just a friend.
Yeah.
And he's kicked me up the arse a few times. You know what I mean? And Walter was one of the few reasons why I stopped taking drugs as well. Because, like you say, when I got introduced to Walter, so I'd got out of hospital. I hadn't taken drugs for about 4 to 6 weeks.
Which, if you were heavy on it, that's a long time. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then I've met Walter. I've explained my situation, and he's like, "Well, let's keep it up." So it's now become like, what, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, without drugs. Yeah, happy days. Now, I got back on the doors, I got another job, and it was a brilliant job. It was a new door.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm starting to feel good, yeah.
Yeah.
We went on a late Christmas night out. January 16th, 2018. And I was like, yeah, I'm cool. And I only had two bottles of beer.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I'm sound. But then someone went, do you want a line?
Yeah.
Straight away.
It's downhill, isn't it?
Well, actually, I turned it down. I said, no, I don't. Because I can't have a line. I can't have just a little stripe or two. I need to have a full bag or 2 bags, 3 bags. I went, no thanks. Got straight on the phone and I said, I want 2 bags. And I had two bags of cocaine that night. You know, was on a bit of a come down the next day, feeling shit, feeling dead sorry for myself.
Yeah.
Can't believe I've done it. But, you know, it's been like, 4 months. So on the Monday, I said to Walter, can we meet up, go for a little coffee? And I've expected him to, you know, go, it's all right, you know, we'll get there. I've gone, I feel shit, I've done this, I've done that. And he's gone, well, what the fuck am I doing then? Am I wasting my time? Because there's people out there that want to change, and I'm putting my time and energy into you.
That's what you needed to hear.
And I was like, and it was more important for me at the time to have Walter in my life than it was drugs. And he gave me another chance. And he said, I want to introduce you to meditation. And he said, because that feeling that you have when you have drugs, those places that you go to, the trips that you have, you can have those exact same feelings, if not better, doing meditation.
Really?
And I'm like, what's going on here? And I thought, I don't want to be all hippie and stuff and peace and love. That's what I'm thinking at the time. He introduced me to meditation. The best thing that's ever happened to me.
Really?
And I'm addicted to meditation now.
So many people say that.
I'm addicted to it.
But the force of sitting down, I couldn't even cross my legs sitting down. That's how knackered I am from the army.
But you don't have to meditate just like that. You know what I mean? You can meditate doing your daily exercises. You can meditate in the gym. You can meditate anywhere you want, yeah. And there's loads of different exercises to do it, and loads of different ways and techniques, like there is everything. Mine, I prefer to sit down and, you know, concentrate on me breathing and feel grounded, feel present.
Yeah. Because
a lot of my anxieties were, you know, dwelling on the past and fears of the future. So I was just cutting out of being present. So a lot of the meditation that we started doing was feeling present.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And being here today in the moment.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm still learning now, still practicing. And there's, you know, not every time I can get to that place, but when I get to that place and I'm like, this is better than drugs.
Really?
And then you come out of it, you feel brand new, and you're not on a come down, and you haven't just blown 60 quid. And,
that's it.
You know what I mean?
I think I'll look into it, like, but I don't know, I wouldn't know where to start or whatever, but it's so many people talk about it, saying just try it, like, just try it. But in my house, I'll sit down on the rug or something, I go, right, nice and quiet, nice and calm, and then I'll just have my 3-year-old just storm me, and it'll just be, what you doing, climb all over me, jumping on my head and all that. It's like, but I guess that's my meditation, because without my family, without my home base, I'm off the rails.
Yeah.
I'm not grounded at all, you know what I mean? So that's my way of being grounded, is with having them. You said as well, fearing for the future.
Yeah.
What do you mean by fear for the future? Like, job wise or career?
No, getting old, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting old, not having control of the thing as well, because we've got a big family. Do you know what I mean? We've got a huge family, and it's a blessing having a massive family.
Yes.
But it's also a curse, because you see death more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was gonna say expensive for Christmas.
Yeah.
But yeah, true.
You know, you witness death more, and you witness those loved ones getting older and getting frail, and that's what I've always been afraid of.
Do you think? Do do you think you don't want to get too close to someone because one day you have to say goodbye to them? It's like, we're not going off subject a little bit, but I'm like that with animals.
Yeah.
Like, we go, oh, should we get a dog or get that? I'm like, no, because when it goes, I will cry and I'll break down because I'll see it as a member of, if you come into my house, you class as my family.
Yeah, yeah.
And then when I met my missus, I was very distant with everyone, but when I met my missus, she's got a nice big family and they're all really nice. And I got really close to them, but I still have that thought going, one day, you mean? And it's a bad way to look at life, you mean? Instead of enjoying them now, you're like, oh, it's like you're waiting for it, you mean?
I've gotten better now. You know, I'm able to deal with loss.
Yeah.
Better, if that makes sense, in the most respectful way possible. Because I've suffered loss from a young age. You know, the first person I lost when I was 9 years old was my cousin. He was like my best mate.
Yeah.
And we lost him on Christmas Day. You know, and obviously me nan and stuff like that. And I've lost close friends and, you know, just terrible accidents and I've seen a lot of that, you know what I mean? And it's, you know, it's had effects, of course. Yeah. So that was obviously one of the fears, but one of the other fears was having kids, having a family, not wanting your children to experience the stuff that you've been through because you've seen a lot of ugly. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that's a natural thing, though. You want your kids to be better. You know what I mean? Because my parents divorced and stuff when I was a young age, and I was pillar to post and stuff like that. And then obviously with growing up and the things I was getting into. So with me, with my dad was never there, you know what I mean? So I had my stepdad. So it was like when my kids were born, I always made that promise to be 10 times better than them. And it can either break you or make you better. You know what I mean? And I said, I'm going to be better. I'm going to be a lot better. And I'll always be there, and I'll do this and I'll do that. And it does make you do naturally want to be a better person. It makes you a better person, you know what I mean? Play yourself, you know what I mean?
I think when I realised it was when my brother had his first child. He asked me to babysit. So obviously I've been through these things, the sexual abuse, from two females, from the age of 7 to the age of 13. There was another incident that happened, which was, I don't know how to sort of put it, sexually inappropriate, but it was never physical, from a third female. I blanked it. I really did. It just, whatever. And I got to a point where it's like, I kind of forgot, if that makes sense. Now, when my brother had my nephew, I think it was about, 17, 18 years old. Yeah. Now, I hadn't told anyone what had happened to me. No one.
So he didn't know?
No one knew at all. And anyway, I'm babysitting this night, and so I turns up, and they're like, right, we're going now. He's in bed, food in the oven, blah, blah, blah. Enjoy your night. See you later. They go. I thought, I'll quickly go and check up on him. And he's in his cot. I was like, just looking at his chest, his little chest.
Yeah.
And I was like, he's good.
I still do that now.
And I've gone to leave, and I can't leave. I can't leave him, because what if something happens to him?
Worst case scenario in your head.
And I spent the whole night babysitting him, sat on the floor, and he was at my eye level, just looking through the spokes of the cot, just watching his chest going up and down. Let's say they were out for 4 or 5 hours, I don't know. I spent those 4 or 5 hours realising what had happened to me, and thinking, how could you do that to something
so innocent?
So innocent, that can't. And obviously I was a little bit older, but still, I was a child.
Can't defend itself.
You know, and that's when I realised that was wrong.
Yeah.
And this has affected me, and it's hurt me.
Yeah.
I couldn't wait for my brother to get back. As soon as he got back, I left. And I told my girlfriend. I said, this has happened to me. She was the first person I told.
What was her reaction?
Amazing.
Just come to the...
Dead supportive.
Yeah.
It felt amazing telling someone.
That valve being released.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it also made things a little bit worse, just because the way I was dealing with things.
Yeah.
I was still drinking at the time. I was still obviously taking drugs. I had all this anger and rage, and you know, I'm 18 years old now. I'm all I want to do at the time is fight.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of anger towards this person, and I've seen this person a few times in the street, and
At the age of 18.
yeah, and I'd just go into mad panic attacks, like horrible panic attacks, and that was the little 7-year-old.
Yeah,
that was taking over. It wasn't me today, and I couldn't control it. Where I was shaking, I was almost in tears, and I was scared of that person, even though, you know, I'd never lay a finger on a woman, you know, because me mum's one, and me mum's one,
that's it,
and me missus is one. You know what I mean?
It's
not how I've been brought up, but
well, that's it. Yeah.
What I'm saying is at that time I knew what I could do, but I was a petrified little scared kid. So instead, I took it out on her boyfriend. And I let everything out.
Yeah.
Soon enough, me mum found out, and then that made
found out what you did or what had happened. Right. Okay.
And why.
So you kept it from your mum as well?
Everything, yeah.
What was her reaction?
Bad.
Anger.
Bad. I thought I would have had the same sort of feeling and reaction as I did from me missus, but it wasn't. Me mum felt like she didn't do her job properly.
Naturally, as a parent,
she didn't protect me. I begged me mum to keep quiet, and my mum couldn't.
Yeah.
And then more people found out.
Which then has an effect on you.
Which I didn't so much fall out with my mum over it, but, you know, it's like I thought I could trust you with that. You know, what I've just told you, but it had an effect on my mum.
Yeah, that's me. That was maybe that was her way of venting it. You know what I mean? Did she feel like she failed you? Obviously, she wanted to know. You know what I mean?
The worst thing was having a family member not believing in me. That was horrible.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, obviously circumstances have changed now, but at the time, which I kind of can understand, you know, people don't want to accept that people can do such horrible things when you know, you don't see them in that light. But yeah, but that's when I realised, when I see my nephew, and I thought, how could you do something to something so vulnerable and innocent? And I know it sounds cheesy, but, you know, children are the future, and they are sponges, and what you do to them, they
soak it up.
Yeah. You know, you're a product of your environment.
It's like right down to the way you act in front of your children and the way you move and everything. They'll copy the whole thing, you know what I mean? It's like you got to be the best version of yourself to create the better version, you know what I mean? But that's just like, you always hear of this kind of evil in the world, but you never expect it to come to your doorstep, you know what I mean? And do you think, looking back now at your children, do you think obviously you're saying that you're the parent, do you believe that you have control of your children now?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
I had...
I'm not in control of mine. She's an absolute nightmare, you know what I
mean? Put them on the naughty step, they'll be alright. I had a meditation, and this was only last year.
Really?
Because there's no way I can take control of them all at the same time. I need to deal with them individually. Why that one acts that way and what's triggered it. Why that one acts that way and what's triggered it. Now, my 7-year-old child is the one that's most afraid of those experiences and that person.
Would you say that's the toughest one to control?
It was. But now he trusts me, and now he knows that he's safe and he's protected with me.
Bit like then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for remembering that, man. Thank you. I done a meditation, and I went somewhere.
Yeah.
And it was just like clinical white. Like there was nothing. It was just all white.
Yeah.
And then I can see my little 7-year-old right in front of me. And we're walking, and then someone appears, and it's this person. He turns to me, and he's just overcome with fear. His face is just, it's my little face, and I can remember it, but I'm treating it as if it's not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like an out of body experience sort of thing.
I said to him, "It's okay. You're okay." And he went up to that person, and he just nodded. Now, that's not forgiving this person or condoning anything.
No.
But that's just allowing him to just get on with his life.
Yeah.
And he's come back to me, and I've held his hand, and that's it. And again, that's what meditation's done for me. You know, a lot of people have asked, what are my thoughts towards these people that have done these things?
Yeah. That was going to be one of my next questions.
For me to move on, for me to accept it, I've just got to say it's happened. It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. It's fucking done me head in over the years.
Yeah, naturally.
It's made me do horrible, nasty things. Other people have suffered from it.
Would you say it stole some years from you?
Yeah. But in a weird way, and again, this is only because this is how I can deal with it. Look, I don't want to say like I wouldn't change it, but it's made me the person I am.
Yeah.
All these events that have happened in my life, it's made me the person I am.
It's created you.
Some horrible, dark days. Do you know what I mean? Some horrible, vile, violent, horrible things. But I am who I am today because of it.
Would you say those things happening to you have recreated you to make you go on to do film and do acting and try and be a better version of yourself and progress, or do you think that would have happened anyway?
I don't know, because I was always pursuing boxing. I was following in my dad's footsteps. You know, I always just wanted to make my dad proud. That was my biggest goal, because I just wanted that love and affection and that appreciation. So I was, pursuing that, and I ended up sort of falling in love with it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I wasted many years because I was always getting into trouble, and then, when your prime sort of years of when you should be studying that art, your amateur years.
Yeah.
Instead, I'm in and out because I'm out partying, at such a young age, and I'm doing this and doing that, and I never took it as serious as I should have and as I'd have liked. So I was always pursuing that, and then I'd missed a lot of vital years.
Yeah.
And then 2012, I was on like a 9-day bender, and then I got into a fight that night. Got into trouble with the police. I didn't care about the consequences or anything.
Was this the one you told me up in? Was this Blackpool? Was it?
Rill.
Yeah. Rill. Yeah.
So we were up in Rill, and didn't care about the consequences. The police were trying to obviously arrest me and stuff, and I was just completely out of order, being an idiot, being a thug, and I assaulted 3 police officers, and I knew what the consequences were going to be.
Just didn't care.
I didn't care, kind of wanted it.
Were you on cocaine then?
I actually wasn't. No, I wasn't that night. But I was just, just drunk.
Yeah.
Obviously arrested, stripped down, because I tried to take my own life that night in the cell.
Really?
I ripped my t-shirt and put it around my neck, and I jolted forward, At the time, a t-shirt to the windows. Didn't do nothing, just hurt me neck. And
Been there, mate.
Police could obviously see that something wasn't right. They wouldn't release me the next day until I'd seen someone.
Yeah.
You know, I went to court, and because I wasn't working at the time, you get a solicitor for free. And went into the room, told him what had happened, blah blah blah. And he said, "Yeah, the best I can do for you is 3 years." And I was like, 3 years what? And he said, "Imprisonment." And I was like, "Oh fuck, I'm sobered up now."
Yeah.
I'm kind of like,
Reality's kicked in.
yeah, I don't want these consequences.
Yeah.
You know, but I've been a tit, so I need to.
Yeah.
Gone into the courtroom, and the judge, she come down on me.
Really?
You know, made me feel very, very small. Made me feel stupid, because that's what I was. But she seen that wasn't really me, and she seen that I was hurting, and she seen that, you know, deep down there was a better person in there.
Yeah.
And she gave me a massive chance. And she said, if you get in trouble between now and 3 years, you'll serve a full sentence. You need to see a professional once a week for 6 months. And you have to pay a hefty fine. Any of these are breached, see you later.
Yeah.
And I come out the court that day, and I took that as a massive, massive opportunity. Stopped drinking, drugs. This is, like I say, 2012, January 7th, 2012. I trained, got back into training, dedicated to boxing.
Mega.
Obviously, you know, I'd wasted a lot of valuable years and amateur experience, so I went to the white collar circuit, boxing on the white collar scene. And then November 17th in 2012, that's when I attempted my first boxing world record.
Yeah. That was the
sparring.
Yeah, was that down the
that was in Real.
That was in Real, yeah.
Yeah. Because I was living there at the time, you see.
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of.
Is that where you met your partner?
Yeah. And yeah, I'd done 112 rounds of continuous sparring back then, and then it felt good. The response that I got, I was buzzing. I set up a boxing charity called the Box Age UK Foundation.
Mega.
To help bullied and troubled kids.
Amazing.
That have been through experiences and whatnot. Basically, a lot of the stuff that I could relate to, and get off the streets and into boxing.
Yeah.
That was going great. We had some amazing people supporting us: Ricky Hatton, Joe Calzaghe, Marvin Hagler,
Amazing.
Lennox Lewis, like serious names.
I've seen the pictures. It's
I was doing radio interviews in Vegas. All of what I was doing. A year later, I'd done 24 hours on the bag.
Yeah.
On the punch bag, not the cocaine.
Thanks for clearing that up.
I'd done 24 hours on the bag. You know, we had Frankie Gavin come down and do the last round on the bag with us. We had Enzo Calzaghe, God rest his soul. And it was amazing. And I was like, this is where I want to be.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, I was getting a bit ahead of myself. I was like, I want to turn professional. And it's like, but you've missed so many valuable years, you know, which I already knew, but I was determined. Like, no, I'm going to do it. And obviously, because where I was living at the time, I went to Chester Boxers. Steve Goodwin, one of the best coaches in the gym. Told him me position, you know, my experience, blah, blah, blah. And he said, I'll work with you. Threw me in with sparring. So the two pros at the time there was Chris Goodwin, his son, and Paul Lecamendes. Now these were two WBF champions, which are like versions of world titles. But these were top fighters, you know what I mean? And doing some really good sparring with like Ricky Hatton's lads and stuff like that. Threw me in sparring with these, and I was just getting battered from pillar to post. But I was like, I'm sound, you know, I'm good. And he's like, what are you doing boxing like that? And I'm like, it's alright, I've got a good jaw. And he's like, yeah, but if you box like that, you'll be a potato in 5 years. You're not boxing like that under my roof. And he stripped me down to the basics.
Really?
Literally like footwork and just your single shots, as if I'd never boxed before. And he built me up. I wasn't eligible for a British Boxing Board of Control licence because of my lack of experience, because of my criminal record.
Yeah.
But however, I got a German boxing licence.
Really?
Yeah. And I was about to make my debut in the Nova, the Chestnut, the Sutton Gate, Northgate Arena.
Northgate Arena in Chester,
yeah. On the undercard of Paul Ecamendes and Chris Goodwin defending their titles. And because of the connections that I'd built because of the charity, George Groves and Robin Reed actually got tickets from me ringside to come and watch my debut.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this is it coming through. At the time, because you don't get paid, like, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I was working as a bus cleaner, so about
in Chester,
in Rill.
So
about 2 or 3 weeks before I was about to make my debut, I was in work. I was mopping a bus, and then I slipped off the bus. About that high, didn't feel right. Thought, I've really hurt my back here. Gone to hospital. The doctors give me all the logistics. It's just gone straight over my head, and I've gone, look, am I going to box?
Yeah.
Am I going to be fighting?
Yeah.
And he said, let's concentrate on getting you walking. And my biggest fear then was I was never going to walk again. My back was that bad. I had to use a wheelchair for a few months. I was getting rehabilitation for like 18 months. I was on crutches and things like that. I'd completely twisted 3 of the vertebrae, which were locked, and they were causing the discs to sort of pop out like herniated discs.
Yeah.
And that was it. That was the boxing over. And I was like, and then I soon realised that I hadn't actually changed. I wasn't happy. All I'd done was just create a huge distraction for myself.
You found a new addiction sort of thing.
I still didn't deal with shit. I put loads of weight on. I was depressed. It was one of the worst I'd felt. Tried to take an overdose. And then I remember crying for the first time in front of Hayley in the bathroom, and I'm just feeling so weak and embarrassed that I was crying.
Yeah.
But I just had to. And she went, what do you want? And I'd never said it to anyone. I don't even think I said it out loud to myself. She went, what is it that you want? And I went, I want to be an actor. And that was the decision. I mean, I knew, I loved performing as a kid, and I loved being, not sense of attention, but a bit of a class clown and doing impressions and voices. And that's what I said to her. I want, and I'm waiting for her to go, just get your fucking head out the clouds, get yourself a fucking job and shut up.
Don't you? Yeah.
And she went, we'll be an actor then. What are you crying for? And that was it. I've told me mum, I want to be an actor. And my mum went, this is generally what my mum said, I fucking told you this years ago.
Yeah. Of course she did.
That's all she, her and me nin used to always say. They'd make me bloody stand up and perform in front of them. And, when my mum was going through hard times, my mum would go through hard times. Something off the top of my head, like when we lost my cousin on Christmas Day, my mum was really obviously down and depressed, of course. She was getting panic attacks. And the only way I could cheer her up was putting a pair of tights on, running in the front room and doing Michael Flatley.
This last week?
Yeah. And again tonight.
Saturday.
Booked in at 7. So I said to my mum, I want to be an actor. And she said, I fucking told you this years ago. And I called up an acting school in the city centre. And it was about a week or 2 later, I started doing acting classes once a week. 2 months later, I landed my first film role, which is going to be out next summer. It's been a proper long process. Like, I actually filmed that in 2016.
Really?
Yeah. And then 6 months later, I'd done my own short film, and it was a huge success, and I won a lot of awards from it. And then that was the start of me acting, and then I found writing, and I found it was very therapeutic. And this sounds like the happy ending, but again, I was creating a distraction because I'd still not dealt with it. And I let it all get on top of me, and that's when 2017 happened and all that stuff. The time that I dealt with it was when I met Walter, and we dealt with it like that.
Yeah.
The children individually. Why I think the way I think, why my brain works the way it works, what triggers what. One of my biggest things was ego. Terrible ego.
We spoke about this the other night.
But not an ego where I'm like, look at me, I'm great, I'm better than you.
Yeah.
It's not like that at all, because I don't think that's far from that. My ego is, I can't accept someone telling me what to do. I can't accept someone. I used to walk into a nightclub, and I used to think that I was the hardest person in that nightclub. That's bad, ugly ego. I suffered with ego a lot. We dealt with that, and that was the hardest thing to deal with out of everything, was ego. But I realised that the ego was just a huge insecurity. It was my defence. It was my wall. Do you know what I mean? Because behind that, I wasn't any of those things. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm actually, I wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm quite open with that.
Yeah.
I cry all the time. I watch a film, I cry at it. I see kids, I cry at them.
I'm awful.
You know what I mean?
I'm literally awful, mate. I like big hard veteran, all that bullshit. I'll sit there, and the second you mention the word lassie, I'm like, I'm in rag. You know what I mean? Like, you telling the story then about how you meditated and seen your 7-year-old self, and you stood there and they looked up at you. I was like, not to fucking.
Well, you just staring me out. My ego was kicking it.
Is he starting? I'm like, that. No, I'm trying not to cry, lad. Sean, pause it.
But yeah, once we dealt with that, then I was creating no distractions.
Yeah.
So then I was able to come back into the acting. And look, shit happens most days. There's always going to be hurdles. Now, I just really, the way I take them now, I do have to be proud of myself, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because one thing I always say is, the more shit that happens to me, it's just part of my story. And I hope that doesn't come across arrogant. But I do believe that one day I'll have a story to tell, and one day there will be a person or a group of people that will listen, and hopefully that can help. So anything that happens today, it's just part of my story. And I always say, they're not problems, they're protein. Protein makes you stronger.
Yeah.
So the more problems that happen, just making me stronger.
That's it.
Well,
you have got a story, and it's a story that I wasn't aware of. You know what I mean? And it's actually, it's hit home. You know what I mean? It's like I feel quite bad in myself because I didn't know that story. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? And it's that story. It's a story that needed to be told. You know what I mean? Do you feel better since you started getting it out there?
Yeah, only because I've dealt with it now. It's done with. You know what I mean? So, I recognised when the thing is, social media now, it's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, it's double-edged.
I started to bloody put stuff on Facebook. A lot of cry out for help. You know what I mean? What was going on?
Yeah.
But then, you get a little bit more comfortable, and you reveal a little bit more of yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I noticed it was getting some okay feedback. People were reaching out to me, and I was like,
to help you, or
no,
asking for advice themselves, or
saying that helped me, or that inspired me. So then I was like, well, I don't need to keep it to myself now. It's dealt with.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm happy in myself now. Look, if sharing my experiences, it's gonna help someone, then let's do it. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I've been fortunate enough to notice over the last couple of years.
Well, that's it, because you don't know what other people have been through. Like, people turn on to me and I say it over and over again, they go, "Oh, you got PTSD, you've done this in the army, you've done that, you've been through a really bad time. Your trauma must be worse than anyone else's." Like, we've just proved that today that it isn't. Like, what you've been through that's your battle. You know what I mean? Everyone has their own battle. I always say, there could be like a 10-year-old girl who's just stumped her toe, and that could be the worst trauma to her. Everyone has their own battle. It doesn't matter if you've been in war. I say war, you've been through war. From a child, you've been through war. That's your war, you know what I mean? And it's how you come out the other end and use your children to make you a stronger person. And you know what? It's just made me really much more prouder to be a friend of yours for that story. I think it's a really powerful, touching story, and I feel quite overwhelmed by it, actually. I think I will, like you said about what Walter said about the children and stuff like that. So that's something I think I'm going to sit down on my own, think about, and I think I'm going to apply that to myself. Maybe we could talk about that again someday, and it could help a lot of people. Hopefully a lot of people watch this and go, "Oh, I'll try that." I mean, like it's done to me. So well, thank you for that. But do you want to touch on your next big event, your next challenge?
So obviously last year, so the sound guy that you've got today is the same sound guy that we have on our podcast.
It's funny that.
So I think he knows what I'm going to talk about quite proudly. Yeah. Last year I become a world record again. Where's my belt? You've changed the set.
I was going to say, in your studio, doesn't it sit round here somewhere? Yeah. Also.
Yeah. And I wear it in bed. No, so like I say, I was always gutted about the boxing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Look, I'm not gonna bloody pretend I was gonna do anything bloody special in the boxing, but I knew that that's what I wanted, and I was gutted it was cut short.
Yeah.
Moments before I was about to, at least dip my toe and try and what have you, but so I felt that there was things unanswered there. You know what I mean? 6 years later, fast forward, I'm sat 2 o'clock in the morning eating a big bag of Doritos, and I was going through some old pictures, and obviously the last time I'd done that the sparring thing, and I went, "Do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna attempt another world record." And I was looking at dates, and I went, "And I'm gonna do it in 12 weeks." So after being out the ring for 7 years, after putting pure weight on, I'm sat at 2 o'clock in the morning eating a bag of Doritos. I just put them aside, started training for 12 weeks, and then I stepped into the ring for the first time since then, and I'd done 142 rounds of continuous sparring, 10 hours in the ring, and I broke a boxing world record. Sparring with 50 plus professionals.
That was in the Camp of Furnace, wasn't it?
Camp of Furnace, yeah.
Amazing.
And that was just like crazy that now we've done it. And going back to ego, I wouldn't have done it without ego.
Yeah.
Because the first hour, I'd used all my physical attributes. I was like, "Oh shit, I've bit off more than I can chew here, and I'm going to look silly because I'm blowing out my ass and it's only an hour. I've got 9 more to go." And it was ego, because I couldn't make myself look stupid. I couldn't have those people in the crowd see me fail.
Yeah. Did you picture certain faces in the crowd?
Yeah, I mean, so I just, a few weeks before, I'd lost my uncle who I was really close to.
Yeah.
So I had a big banner of my uncle printed out and put on the balcony.
Yeah.
And I just kept looking at that, and that sort
Drove
of helped me through. And that event actually is quite significant. It's not just a chance for me to boast about what I've done, because I only joke when I say that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, that was a personal Everest for me, because each 10 rounds was like a milestone for me, and I was saying to myself, if I can get to the next 10 rounds, I've beat sexual abuse. If I can get to the next 10 rounds, I've beat bullying. I've beat the relationship with my dad. I've beat the drugs, the alcohol, the fighting, the violence. I beat all of that, and that's what got me through the next 10 rounds, and so on and so on and so on. And when I obviously got to the finish line, that was my Everest, and I thought, if I can do that now, nothing can beat me.
No.
And I believe that nothing can beat me, because I know that there's going to be more tough days. I know I'm going to lose more people. You know, I might go through experiences, and it is what it is.
But you've been through, you've been to hell and back.
So, but doing that event, you know, we've got a bit of a bug for it, and I want to do more challenges, and I want to do them for good causes.
Yeah.
So obviously, you know, in between doing the films and writing and stuff, I want to do these crazy challenges, and the next one is doing 60 hours, 3 days, just over 3 days.
Yeah.
Continuous punching a bag, no sleep, no breaks, nothing, just on a bag, 3 days. Yeah.
Mega. And you're doing that in the name of?
Well, I know it's definitely going to be for mental health.
Yeah. Raising
awareness for mental health. We need to all come up with what mental health charity that we want to support. So that's definitely something.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I've said I'm going to come down. I'm going to hold the bag for you.
Yeah.
However long I can hold it on for without collapsing. But yeah, if you're doing it, I'll do it with you. You know what I mean?
Nice one,
I mean, not putting gloves on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I will come down. We'll get that going. We'll support that. As well, just what I wanted to touch on, when you created, because obviously with your filming and your acting and stuff, you created Billy Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously that was a character you created yourself. And what we'll do is we'll put a picture up somewhere around there of Billy Smith. When you showed me the picture of him,
he's horrible.
I was like, who the fuck's that? It looks familiar. And I looked close and it was you. Like, you literally transformed yourself that much that I didn't. And the character was absolutely amazing, but he's a very evil, very sadistic, very from the depths person. And it's like, even right down to the cut across the face and the, you know, all that. How do you think that some of your past has played a part in creating him?
No,
not at all. Just straight off the bat.
Because Billy is so far away from me, and even though I've been a shit in the past, you know what I mean, I've never been anything close to that character that I've created, because he's everything bad rolled into one.
Yeah.
Me with my acting now, I want to take risks. I want to show that I'm willing to take big risks.
Like Thomas.
Yeah. You know, I want to show that hopefully I can be versatile. You know, I want to do characters on completely different ends of the scale. You know, from Thomas, where I played the young man with cerebral palsy, to Billy Smith. That is,
I had to take that as well. I was like, it is as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean,
so, you know, with acting, what I'm figuring out with acting is you try and take elements of yourself, try and put them into characters. You know, with Billy Smith, it's very hard to try and put yourself into someone like Billy Smith, but what you do is if you create a backstory for him, and you try and so basically with Billy Smith, his backstory was he had daddy issues, you know, and he's been through trauma, and that's something that I can relate. But then, as the actor, as the writer, and being creative, I've created the path that he's taken with those experiences.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the only way I could start to develop him, and then obviously. But yeah, he's a horrible, nasty person.
I can't wait to see it. Really can't wait to see it. And when you're looking at doing the premiere, you said you got a few more.
Yeah,
sessions.
So it's gonna be on Amazon Prime. We're looking around about May time, so we want to put it through the festival circuit.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if you know, hope we don't go into another lockdown. You know, next year, going into 2021. Because I'd like to have a screen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but yeah,
can't wait. I'll get my tux ready. Can't wait.
No, your check shirt and your banjo.
Oh, I'm gonna go pick it up. I don't know what I was thinking. I was gonna sit here with the banjo and start.
Tune a straw.
I have an idea. Yeah, it's a bit of old grass from hell with that. I mean, but yeah, I can't thank you enough for coming on and sharing that with me, because it's something that I know that was tough for you to get out. You know what I mean? It was tough for you to speak about. It's something that you've been dealing with, but that will go on to help a lot of people that watch this and see that. So I can't thank you enough for that, and thank you for just being you. Really, just that sounds really cheesy, but thank you for coming out the other side of that and being the person you are now. Because if you hadn't have come out the other side of that from going through all that, you wouldn't have been able to support me and give the boost that I needed from my trauma to get me to where I am now with my show and all that, and be a better person for my family. So thank you for that.
The pleasure's all yours.
And
I use comedy as defense mechanism.
I know you do.
I can't take compliments, but I appreciate it, and thank you so much.
No, but thank you. But all the best for the future. I look
Thank
forward
you.
to working
You too.
alongside you, and I look forward to acting in Billy Smith, that role you're gonna give me as well. Cheers, mate.
Yes, man.
Nice one,
Thank
bro.
you.
We got.